What is the spring priority?
Always, you're hoping for to build quality depth, right? And with us having so many young guys, that is going to be the challenge of getting those guys ready. And you never truly you never truly get them 100% ready by the end of spring, but you have a good trajectory or projection of what you think they're going to be, and so getting those guys ready for ultimately Saturday competition.
How valuable is a guy like Bobby? That's an older guy,
Yeah.
a mature guy. How valuable is he this spring to, for the
Yeah.
even guys that played some football? He's one of the
Right.
oldest guys out there.
So he having Bobby has been really good because he's trusted the process throughout the whole deal, right? He got here his first year, he redshirted because he wasn't ready last year. I think at this point in time, I didn't know he would contribute as much as he did, and he got better. And then now having him out there, like he's like speaking up, right, and talking, being a voice for those young guys, and so. He's doing a really good job. I'm proud of him. Excited to see the next steps that he take, in spring and in his career. But having a guy like him, Zakevius, Malik, Blockton, having guys like that have played and been involved in it is priceless.
The four freshmen, what did each of them bring, and what have you seen so far?
Yeah, well, first thing is they all work hard. Right, they all work hard. It'd be hard for me to single out one of them. They are all different, and they bring something different to the table. But they all work hard, and they all take coaching. Right, I coach them hard. Right, but they're my guys, but they know I love them. But I coach them hard, and so that's probably the biggest thing I'll say. I'm looking forward to truly getting like my hands on with them. And watching them develop, but they all work hard.
You mentioned, sorry, go ahead.
Kendrick coming back this year, obviously one of the top returners in the country. Just how have you seen him grow, continue to grow?
Man, when you coach a guy like Kendrick, it's one of those deals you realize it's a coach's dream. Love the kid, love the competitor, but having him coming back to that room is another deal where you say it's priceless because he is not just a dude that just talks. He actually does it. He'll say, hey, let's go out on Saturday and get some extra work, or let's go out on Sunday when we ain't got nothing to do and get some extra work, and he'll be the first one there, right? So having a guy like that, dude, is awesome. And he welcomes hard coaching too. I mean, I coach him as hard as I coach anybody else, and he wants that. He wants that, and so I think that's the special thing about him. And he's just going to continue to skyrocket in his career.
Malik got to play a lot as a freshman last year, obviously. What are you seeing from him now, him having a year behind him?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately having a good offseason, and the offseason is still going for him. That's going to be big for him because that's where I saw the biggest jump for Kendrick from his freshman All-American year to last year where he put up some really good numbers. And so challenging him to continue to have a big offseason. And, he's I will say this, he's a very smart football player. He's a student of the game. And so being more detailed and talking to him more as like I'm talking to a coach, right, than a player has been, one of those interesting things that is happening throughout the offseason. So excited to see what he does this spring and moving forward.
I know Amar is a guy that guys have a lot of expectations about. What about him coming off of year one where he probably wasn't as involved as he thought he might be? But how have you seen him progress?
Well, it's funny because like a lot of kids, when they come in and they were like 5 stars and this and that, it sucks. I get it, but like there's so much pressure put on them to perform now, right, or to be a dude now. And Amar's had all the athletic talent in the world to do that last year, but just up here, and he would admit it to you, up here he didn't have it. And so watching him, he's like literally worked to transform that, and seeing some of the things that he do. I mean, he's one of the hardest working guys out there, and there are things like he used to be late, and we're still helping him with things like that. But like he's in the fight with us, and so it's awesome to see it, right? And so that's the thing for a lot of those young guys though. Like coming in, yeah, you're a 5-star, you have high expectations and all those things. But dude, everything happens for different people at different times. right? And so just trusting the process, continue to go through it. I think he's going to be a great example of it.
You've been there before. How tough is it to teach guys and to get them prepared for what life is like in the trenches at this level?
It's tough now. It's tough. I mean, it's one of those deals like you truly can't take it for granted to have experience guys playing on the inside in this conference in the SEC. When you're going against dudes that are about to be, starters and on Sundays, you got to be ready. And so, during this time, we focus on a bunch of technique and fundamentals. That's the biggest thing. Focusing on what to do, recognizing the situations that you're in, and giving them the small tools. Something that may seem little, but ultimately ends up becoming a big thing. Give them those tools needed to succeed. And so that's what we're focusing on right now, especially those younger guys, giving them those tools, the technique work, and all those things to help them be successful and to be able to come in and play early.
Vontrell, as you sort of grow in your role, what are some things you're taking into this spring? You think back to last spring, maybe stuff that worked, stuff that didn't, how you might motivate. How are you growing, you think, as a coach?
I will say last year, it was, so when I first got the role, I felt normal, I felt excited, but I think there were some things that I learned, throughout the process, and there's ways to motivate. And I've always coached hard. That's my deal. But also being able to truly look at the film or look at the tape or look at the individual drills that we're doing and correct those things, and just being a way better technician or a technical coach. And I gave, before I talked about having Coach Pete Jenkins, in my circle, he's helped me grow in that way tremendously, finding those problems and trying to find ways to fix them. And so I think that's probably the biggest thing in this deal, and also being patient with those younger guys and knowing that, hey, it may not click right now, but at some point, if you continue to preach those things, or even some of the older guys, a Philip Bleedy, who came in at the end of spring and all that stuff, and he ended up playing valuable snaps for us. But if you continue to preach, and continue working on these small things, technique things over and over and over again, they will stick and they will click. And so that's probably one of the biggest things I learned.
A guy like